Welcome to YDG Cowboy. Again, that stands for You're Doing Good. I know we talked about, in my last video, we talked about the offense. Today or this evening, we're going to talk about the defense. The defense, they played pretty well. Micah's still in the news. He's still on his podcast. He's still, doing his thing. And again, I understand that. I mean, he's getting a lot of exposure, and he's with the Stars, so I understand that. This time, he's talking about his quarterback. He's protecting his quarterback. He's talking about how he's upset, how everybody's going after Dak. But guys, you got to understand. I mean, when you wear the Star, that's the exposure you're going to get. You just got to be ready for it. You got to want that exposure. You got to be clutch. So, that's what it is. If you're going to wear the Star, you got to be prepared to do the actions. So it is what it is. But we're going to talk about Micah and the defense today. The defense did well. They stepped up. It was a low scoring game. Again, I think we ended up like 20-17. But Micah stepped up. He finally got a holding call. He finally got a holding call. And also, with that being said, I mean, he was killing. He was doing. When you have Mike on your team, you gotta account for him. So you gotta double him. So that's what the Chargers was doing, which led to Odigizua. He stepped up. He did his thing. Also, I want to talk about this. There's three key people who played well. Michael was one. Odigizua was another one. And Marquise Bell, he stepped up. FAMU, okay? HBCU, which I'm a product of. Winston-Salem State. Not the name drop, but yeah, Stephen A. Smith. I think I was a freshman to senior anyway. Yeah, I know him, but it's not the name drop. But anyway, me and my boys, I just remember back in the day when we played intramurals, he and my other partners, Raj, they always used to be arguing. So I used to see that all the time. That's what we do. We argue. We talk junk about football. All right. So, and that's going to be another thing. I'm going to try to get some of my friends on, and it's going to be a big deal. So look out for that. All right. So let's talk about the 4th-and-1 play when the Chargers were down on I think it was on our 17 or whatever. Again, Marquise Bell watching the eyes of Herbert. I mean, that was an excellent play he did off the quarterback. What happens is when he was watching the eyes of Herbert, he bracketed down towards Keenan Allen, which Keenan Allen, he stepped up. Keenan Allen, he stepped up. He killed us on a couple of times. That's a product of Greensboro, North Carolina. And so he did well. Bland did well. Bland bracketed the actual wide receiver in that play, which when he went around across the end zone, that could have been an easy touchdown. But Bland laid out, knocked the ball out, 4th-and-1, they had to kick. So that was an excellent play made by Bland. But again, Marquise Bell was the reason why, because Marquise Bell was on it. He was killing it all game. And for him to be an undersized linebacker / safety, that's actually my star of the game. Marquise Bell, product, FAMU, HBCU. All right. Now, Keenan Allen had a good game with us, a good game against us. He did a couple of double moves on Bland. I got to give it up to him, but he did well. But again, that move on with as far as with Justin Herbert, we kind of kept him in the pocket. We did what we were supposed to do. We stayed true to our blocks. We didn't let him get out of pockets. He got away a couple of times, but we still kept him under a certain amount of passing yards. So, and to be honest with you, everybody talking about Dak, how Dak's this, Dak's that. Dak actually outplayed Herbert. He really did. A couple of touchdowns. Well, actually one touchdown, one throwing touchdown. It was a beautiful pass, as I talked about in my last video, to across the middle. All right. That was a beautiful pass that he made on that touchdown. But he did well, and he actually ran into the end zone for one. So Dak's doing well. I mean, I really think the defense is coming along. We've got a few things we need to fix. Evans didn't play as our new linebacker that we picked up. I think he's going to play this next after the bye. But I think we're doing well. We just need to stay focused. Again, I know Mike is on this podcast doing his thing. I just think, to me, that puts a bullseye on us, even though we already have a bullseye. But I think it's a little bit too much talking. I'd rather for us at least get to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl before we do all this talking. But hey, he's been doing it. He's been backing it up. So I understand. But again, I'm not going to stay here long. It is WSSU homecoming, which I'm a product of. I got some people coming to town. We're going to have a great time. But I just want to touch base, give some, acknowledgments to a lot of the players that stepped up in this game. We kept them to 17 points, a so-called high-powered offense. We kept them to the 17 points. So give it up to the Cowboys. And again, YDG, Cowboy Nation, stand up.